All right, it's been a minute since I've done a dedicated single video to one single book. Hey there, creepy peeps, I'm Nightmare Maven. Welcome back to my channel. If you happen to be new here, hi, welcome. I talk about horror movies, books, and all horror things all year round. So if you end up liking this video, you should subscribe. If you haven't already heard, Legendary Entertainment has picked up the rights to How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix to adapt it for the big screen. And I will share some details about that adaptation towards the end of the video, but for right now, let me tell you my thoughts about the book and why I think it's going to be a great movie adaptation. So just some quick background on How to Sell a Haunted House. The story follows Louise, who at the opening of the book has learned that her eccentric parents have just died in a fatal car accident. She returns home for the funeral and finds out, due to an insane clause in their parents' wills, her younger brother Mark gets the house. The estranged siblings bicker and fight over legal technicalities while disturbing memories of their childhood resurface now that they are back in their childhood home full of their mom's creepy puppets. After spending more time in the house, Louise and Mark start to think that one puppet in particular, Pupkin, is alive and is trying to kill them. How to Sell a Haunted House is another great example of how I describe Grady Hendrix's books to customers at work, which is Goosebumps, but for adults. Basically all of that same, like, kind of silly, definitely scary plots, but with a lot more gore normally and a lot more cursing. And this book is no different. I've seen quite a few reviews compare this to Night of the Living Dummy, which I think is accurate. So the more adult themes in this particular book come in the form of the 5 stages of grief, if you subscribe to that idea. Each portion of the book is labeled with one of the 5 stages, as Louise and Mark, to an extent, move through these stages of not only grieving their parents, but coming to terms with the way their toxic family dynamic has shaped them into who they are today. That being said, if you're watching this video right now and you haven't read the book yet, and you're intending to, maybe watching this video to help you decide if you're gonna read this book, I'll just give you a little bit of a warning. Louise and Mark are not the easiest characters to like. To say they are complicated is an understatement. I felt like I went through the 5 stages of liking and hating these characters, which just to me overall means I enjoyed them because they felt very realistic. They had a lot of flaws, which at a lot of times in this book were really fucking annoying, and I think that was the point. And it just made it fun to read for me because I could relate to both of them in certain ways during certain parts of the book, and at other times I wish I could have like reached into the book and like throttled these characters. And I also mentioned our main baddie is a puppet, Pupkin. I've also mentioned many times on this channel that scary dolls / puppets, etc. don't really do it for me. I don't normally find them scary, but Pupkin gave me a run for my money. There's also a psychological element to Pupkin that I found super interesting. I won't get into the details of it because that goes into spoiler territory. I think it's the mental effect that Pupkin has that makes him so scary to me. Especially if you think about like puppets and puppetry and how that is used in therapy sometimes with children to help them like express emotions or feelings. I feel like keeping that in mind while reading this book adds a level of like uncomfortableness and just terror to the book. And I also really loved the sibling dynamic between Mark and Louise. As an older sister myself, I can say I felt a kinship to Louise during certain points in this book. And I don't know if Grady Hendrix has any siblings, but he definitely nailed the very unique and nuanced relationship that siblings have. And within that sibling dynamic in the book is where I felt most of the humor came from. More than a few parts that I legitimately laughed out loud reading this book. Although I will say I don't envy them. Luckily, my brother and I didn't have any like creepy puppets in the house growing up to, you know, try and murder us. But if you were to ask my younger brother, he probably would tell you that I tried to murder him on many occasions. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, How to Sell a Haunted House has been picked up by Legendary Entertainment to be adapted for the big screen. First off, super excited about Legendary picking this up in particular. And just to give you a little refresher, Legendary has Trick or Treat, As Above, So Below, Krampus, and Crimson Peak under their horror belts. So yeah, I'm fucking stoked about it. Sam Raimi's and Rob Tappert's Ghost House Pictures will be producing this adaptation, which I don't think could be more perfect. If you had asked me upon finishing this book how I might envision a movie adaptation, I probably would have said the same vibes as Drag Me to Hell. So double stoked about Raimi producing this. And then of course we have Grady Hendrix, who is signed on to go ahead and write the screenplay for the movie, and James Ashcroft will be directing. I will say, as much as I don't find puppets that scary, I am excited to see Pumpkin come to the big screen. I'm kind of hoping that Pumpkin will be a game changer for me, because there are some truly terrifying scenes with that puppet in this book. And I don't know, maybe seeing them put to screen might actually get to me, who knows? And then through learning this news about How to Sell a Haunted House, I also saw, like, all the articles kept mentioning that Horror Store and We Sold Our Souls are also potentially in the works for an adaptation. When I tell you, I am foaming at the fucking mouth for a We Sold Our Souls adaptation. But anyways, if you've read How to Sell a Haunted House or any other Grady Hendrix books, let me know what you think about them in the comments. And, you know, especially if you've read this book, let me know what you think about it being adapted for the big screen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're currently giving this video a thumbs up, you should be subscribing. Become a Creepy Peep today. It's completely free, and I'm like 85% sure you won't regret it. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.